If someone wants to be free from demonic bondage, can a Christian always cast these presences out?
That's an interesting question.
We have examples right back to the New Testament of one time in particular when Jesus' disciples were trying to cast a demon out of a young boy and they could not do it.
Mark chapter 9.
There we go. And Jesus' response to them was, first it was, "O ye of little faith." But then he said, at least in a number of earlier manuscripts, his answer was, "This kind," which apparently there's different kinds of demonic entities that can be hassling human beings. "This kind," he says, "doesn't come out except by prayer and fasting." So if you combine those two answers, it's a faith issue. The faith is always involved in the spirit world. Our faith in God, our faith in his power, our faith in our calling to be his people and his warriors. But prayer and I believe fasting are things that can help us grow in our faith, be faith-filled as we enter into these things. So I think a good principle anytime someone's going to be doing significant, say, deliverance ministry, it certainly never hurts to be prayed up and even fasted up as one is going in to pray with someone around deliverance issues. Other times, it seems like a 3-second prayer and the person's, Greg and I, whenever we do this class at Bethel, every year we've done it, we've had at least one, usually more students who have asked us to pray with them about possible demonic stuff in their life. And we have experienced everything from a several-hour session that took quite a bit of time for this thing to get loose to, I remember one young woman, within about a minute or two, I sensed that if there was anything here, it was gone. And this was sort of a sealing time of sealing the deliverance God had given her and the healing he had brought. So there's just a wide range of experiences you can have in this realm. But there's some basic principles there.
The bottom line is that this prayer of any sort, and certainly not deliverance prayer, it's not magic.
Right.
It's not like a magical formula. I remember the first time I dealt with a thoroughly demonized person who was acting very much like the New Testament demonized people, rolling on the ground and whatever. And it was my first encounter, so I just laid hands on them and said, "In Jesus' name, you must come out." And the thing laughed at me. And I was like, "No, wait a minute. The book, you're supposed to come out. I said, in Jesus' name, and get out right now." Now, I later on found out that even with the disciples, it didn't happen that way. Prayer is using the authority of God to push back. But how fast and how effective it will be depends on a lot about you and a lot about the strength of the army that you're up against and a lot of other variables we can't get our mind around. So that's why I would encourage people, if it doesn't work at first, you keep on pushing. If it doesn't work with one, you get other people to pray with you. And because you're laboring in the spiritual realm, it's not magic, it's real warfare. We would like the magical formula, but we ain't got no magical formula.
This is maybe
That's the quintessential thing I'd say about it. We ain't got none.
This is maybe somewhat related, and I don't know how long you want to spend on it, but in prayers for healing and deliverance, how do you know what name to call something, how to pray with specificity?
It's very much related. There's only one example where Jesus ever asked for a name of an entity he's dealing with. And